5.
Or go to humanabigbook.com. The savings are too big to miss.
So here's a girl that's giving hope to all parents with missing kids. Maria, the mystery girl, about 4 years old, found in a gypsy camp in Greece. Well, the people raising her are now charged with abduction and falsifying papers. DNA tests actually show that Maria is not even related to them. Now the worldwide hunt is on for her real parents. And here's what made police suspicious. Maria looked nothing like the parents or the other children at the camp. Gypsy or Roma children normally have much different features. Gary Martin Hayes joining our conversation. He's a family safety advocate. So have you ever heard of anything like this?
Actually, we have. And thank goodness we hear about these stories where kids are found and reunited with parents. And hopefully that's what's going to happen here. Think about the numbers globally. 8 million children are reported missing each year around the world. Just in the U.S., 800,000 kids go missing. So the numbers are out there.
And we still don't know where this little girl is from, right? We don't know if
she looks
heard,
Danish or Norwegian, perhaps.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was hearing Russian, and then someone said, well, what if she's from the United States?
That's what I heard. So how are they ever going to figure out where she's from? I mean, I guess the goal is, the hope is that by publicizing it, someone will recognize
and
her.
DNA tests were done.
Anthropologists are looking at it too.
So as an investigator, Charles, where do we go from here?
Well, I mean, this is a tragic thing, but I do want to point out, and there's been the Roma gypsies have come under a lot of criticism here, and
You've handled a couple cases with Roma.
I have, and so I think it's unfair to paint them with a broad brushstroke and suggest that they're all somehow involved in fraud or they're all criminals. But it's clear that this particular couple, they were found in the presence of handguns and drugs, and they have in their possession this beautiful little girl who clearly does not belong to them. So I think we need to look at them, certainly, with a very critical eye and a different light.
Greece's child registration is a mess. We were told that the parents claim they adopted Maria from a Bulgarian woman who couldn't take care of her. Take a listen.
We never abduct this child. We've just adopted with an way non-legal. That's where we can confess it.
Okay, so if they can produce the biological mother, is the whole mystery solved? Because then you have the issue of, was this a legal adoption or illegal adoption, right?
Yeah. Very well could have been illegal. I mean, people, unfortunately, things aren't always as a result of an abduction. There are, women who sell children, drug addicted women,
Do you question Maria, or was she too young to know kind of where she belongs?
It depends it depends on the age at which she was abducted. I think you do solve the mystery about who the biological parent is, but the mystery remains who is the proper parent. Yeah, what happened, and who is a proper parent now to keep the child. You hear about the squalid conditions that she was living in. I would hope the Greek authorities don't put her back in that environment.
So take a look at some of this amateur video. The Roma actually gave this to the Greek media when this whole story broke, and it shows Maria when she was about a year old there, dancing with her allegedly fake family. So are the Roma trying to show that she was well cared for, that she's happy, that they didn't do anything wrong? A child advocate group in Greece is saying now that it's gotten more than 8,000 calls from around the world from people who might know who she is, including 4 people from the U.S., which got us talking about, could she be from here? So does that sound like a lot of calls to you? Is that a good sign, Gary?
It's a good sign that there are people that are actively trying to say, hey, we've lost our child, help us find it. But it's not unusual. 188,000 calls were received in Greece in 2010 saying they've had children missing. And what we can't do is compare Greece's system to the United States.
Okay.
We have a much better database through the National Center for Missing Exploited Children. We do have a global partnership with 22 other countries, of which Greece is one of them, but not all the countries have the kind of database and the information sharing that we do here in the United States.
Well, this got us thinking about Maddie McCann. You know how that's all back in the news, and her parents still holding on hope that she's alive.
That something like this would give the McCanns enough hope and encouragement that they renew their strength for the fight.
So isn't that interesting? They see that thinking, oh my gosh, my daughter, the same thing could have happened in a different way.
Yep, because I mean, that's when I saw the story, that's exactly what I thought. You know, you always hear about these children that just go missing, they just vanish. Where do they go? What happens to them? And then you see stories like this and it tells you that's what happens to them.
Yeah, what's interesting about this one is, you know, this child, the reason that we're even talking about this is because she stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Sadly, you know, there's, and you know this better than anybody, there's hundreds of thousands of other ones that aren't going to ever stick out like that, and they're not going to get resolved like this. This one actually has a good chance of getting some resolution
especially with the attention.
And also, just to clarify, because I noticed that wasn't Maddie McCann's dad. That was actually an FBI agent that's tied to the McCann case. So that's interesting that they're all paying attention to this. Yeah. For the latest on the case, you can watch Jane Velez Mitchell. That's tonight, 7 Eastern, right here on HLN.